a desire to fear the Lord. Do you long to serve the Lord? Have you purposed in your heart to magnify Him, to worship Him at all costs? At the cost of your name, at the cost of fame, at the cost of a promise He made to you that He could so easily take away. How deep is your desire to serve and fear the Lord? Abraham was willing to sacrifice his son Isaac, God's promise to Sarah and Abraham. Abraham feared God. His desire was to please the Lord and not himself, even if it didn't make any sense at all. Why sacrifice a child you promised to me? And then to sacrifice a person, isn't that a sin? A sin that sorely displeases you? For Abraham, I am quite sure it didn't make any sense to him, but he went through the process anyway. Regardless, it's not my will, but thine. Abraham loved his son, the one promised to him, the one he waited on till old age. God wanted to see if he'd be willing to sacrifice the very thing he loved for him, to see if Abraham chose his promise or his purpose over God. Many of us have come to sacrifice God to satisfy ourselves. We lessen our time with the Lord in order to practice a little more, to get the children what they need and situated, spend a little bit more time at work to make more money on next week's paycheck. Ladies, we sacrifice our supplier to spend and devote our time with men, trying to build a relationship, trying to satisfy and please the needs of man. We focus so much on them that we forget or spend less time with God. God who allowed that man to walk into your life. We worship the man and lose our desire to fear the Lord with all our heart. Fortunately, because God loves us and because He's a jealous God, He will drive us back to Him. That relationship, that job, that talent you devoted your time, your life to, God will allow it to crumble right in front of you. You'll feel physically and emotionally sick because your heart was in the wrong thing. You cannot fear both man and God equally. You must choose one over the other. He may not require you to sacrifice by a physical death, that thing in which you love so much. He has many ways of doing it for you, ways that make no sense to you but will wake you up and allow you to see that you have no commitment and no devotion to Him. Remember, if He gave you your heart's desire, if He planted the purpose, the talents in you, don't serve the purpose, don't serve the talent, serve the God that gave it to you. Because as quickly as He gave it, He could give you the inability to use it. Genesis chapter 22 verses 10 through 12 states, And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me.